Welcome to the Senior Citizens Talk of HRCGI News Agency. My name is Chivumbi Ernest Benjamin. All our viewers from all over the world, from the slums of the deepest parts of the earth, the big cities and villages, rich and small countries, Japan, Greece, France, to Kampala, Uganda, and then to Kenya, where we are holding our guest tonight on the Senior Citizens Code, Dr. Hellen Gathogo, Executive Director of One More Day for Children Foundation in Kenya. Dr. Gathogo, welcome to the Senior Citizens Talk.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Could you please tell us why the name One More Day for Children Foundation?
Oh, interesting. The name One More Day for Children, it speaks on itself. It's talking about child protection. It's only talking about what are the rights of the children, the survival, rights, that the child should be reared well, catered for, and that the government should be in charge of ensuring that the child gets all the rights together. Once you get all the rights together, then there's one more day for that child. There's fewer death, or there's no death. Malnutrition is addressed, poverty is addressed, all the children are in school, and you see, they can live long and long to be senior citizens if you want.
I'm excited about that.
Yes.
Could you tell us how you got inspired into starting this organization?
Well, I was inspired by my background. I come from a very humble background, and I also was able to reach where I am because of help from other people. That is number one. I was able to be taught about the children's rights, the African Charter and the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Children. I was able to understand the rights and welfare. I was able also to get into the space to tell others who did not have this information that this is what it is. It is right-based. It is not need-based. When you are being given by the government free education, it should not look like it is a favor. It is a right, and it is not a need-based. It should be addressed like that. So when I went on, I thought about giving. I was educated by the public. I came from a humble background, as I have told you, from a family of 11, and I was number 10, and the only one who went to school because of the poverty.
Number 10.
Number 10.
And how did they leave out 1 to 9 and they choose you as number 10 to be prioritized for education?
Interesting. Nature was on my side. There was no choosing. Maybe it's fate. Okay. I would say that. Because all of them were taken by my father was working as a night watchman in the school, primary school that I was working. We were going. And then it happened that all of them, they completed the primary school education, but due to poverty, they were not able to continue. My father could not raise enough for that. Now, when it came to me, why me? You have asked. It is because I topped in the exam. After topping, I was ready to go their way. I was ready that anytime I'll be married off, or I joined them in the prostitution. Some of them were in prostitution, and joining them meant bringing more children to my parents. As in, I grew and seeing many children around me, till I didn't know who is my sibling, who is my nephew, who is my niece, who is my cousin, because of all that lack of education and due to poverty. When they went out, they went looking for jobs, but they came back when they were pregnant, and they left those babies to the poor elderly and parents that we had. So after I did my primary education and I topped, then the community saw something in me, and therefore the church came in, organized the people, and my bigger sibling who had gone their way, especially the men, and they were able to raise some funds to take me to high school. I was able to continue with that education up to high school. My brother was able to take me in, now deceased. My father could not believe, but always encouraged. I was able also to break that chain of poverty.
Wow.
I was also a survivor of GBV. My community by that time was still practicing FGM. And
Genital mutilation.
exactly. And it pained me. And therefore I knew the only tool I could use to change this narrative was through education. So through education, I was able also to continue in high school, colleges, through the help of the people. And I'm telling you, I worked like there's no tomorrow, because I knew I'm a girl and I have a vision, and that vision is to bring change into my community. And I did that, exactly that. And I went back to give back to the community. Our home was so poor that if you wanted to do a research on poverty, we would come and tell you that home is where the poor people are. But then you are returned by the people. No. Gathogo's family is the poorest. People did research with us. We stayed hungry at night. During the day, we could stay without food. We walked barefooted. We would go, looking for, scavenging for help everywhere. But we did not give up. I personally did not give up, because I knew and I saw in me that the support the government, the community has given me, especially the church, it could be something they have seen. And therefore, I dreamed and I said I'll leave that dream to come true.
Wow.
Today, that community is 90% has abandoned that practice. I was also able to shield our last born. She never went through.
Oh.
She never went through. And even when my parents died, I'm a total orphan. I was able even to educate her, and up to now take care of her and our other siblings. I was able to change the narrative of my sister's children and brother's children. They were able to continue to the farthest because of me. So it was time now to go back to the community and give back to the community. And I went where there was nobody who was willing to go, where GBV was thriving.
Welcome. My name is Omuka Francis from JAHL Productions Uganda Limited, the makers of the iced espresso, ready to drink coffee. This is purely a Ugandan coffee, starting from the seeds to the packaging to the production, all Ugandan product. Well, at the moment we have it in two. One that is sweet having sugar in it, cane sugar. That's why we call it the sweet original. The second is the original without sugar. This coffee has no additives, no preservatives, and has a shelf life of up to 18 months. We pack it in cartons of 12, having 12 sachets inside the box. The same for the sweet one, the 12 inside the box. So our coffee is purely Ugandan. Serving it, you can have it both cold or hot. You can have your coffee the way you want it. For this time, let me make a demo of the hot coffee. I'll take the sweet original, pour it in a cup. It's purely coffee and expressed coffee. Add hot water. And there you go. Your coffee is ready for serving. This coffee can be got at any of the supermarkets around the Mega. We have it at Platia, that's at Kololo. We also have it at Legume, that's after the American Embassy in Zambia. You can get our coffee there. It's purely Ugandan product. It's ready to drink, no additives, no preservatives, and it has a shelf life of up to 18 months. You can get it both in the one with sweet, that is the sweet, and original, having sugar, no sugar. So meaning you all got the coffee you need. We have a sales number. In case you want to get in touch with us, call this number 0766 530 248. We'll be able to receive your calls. It's both on WhatsApp. We shall be able to serve you. Thank you so much.
FGM na child marriage. That is in arid and pastoral community of Maasai in Laikipia. And there I started together with other professionals. I brought lawyers, I brought together lawyers. I brought together health practitioners. I brought together social workers. I brought together community developers. We sat together. We had one goal. Can we change this narrative? Can we come up with something? Can we do child protection issues, programs around? And yes, the government was very excited because our record was so clean. And the government came in because it had also seen there was a problem and the gap, there was nobody coming willing to save that gap. So the government came in, joined, and gave us 13 acres of land.
Wow, 13 acres of land.
Yes. Would you imagine land and government giving to private sector is very rare. It is very rare. But we came and showed them we are now not coming to compete. We are coming only to join you in this fight against the child abuse within the community. And also empower the community as well as the family so that they are able to change the negative part of the culture. So that is me. Wow. And I'm proud to be here today through our partner, that is African Alliance for Research, Health and Economic Development. I'm here because they saw something in this program and they joined us and they told me, no, let's give you the wings so that you can also go and tell the world and Africa, the story, so that we see what the African leaders have not had, whether they can hear from the first-hand person. That's why I'm here.
Many policymakers, governments all over the continent have tried to ratify laws and policies trying to protect girls and women from mutilation. Unfortunately, this looks to be not realistic on the ground. Do you agree with me?
I do agree with you. We normally say we have very beautiful policies, very beautiful acts of parliament to do with child protection, education, and all that. But as long as the government of the day are not willing to walk the talk, to implement to the letter those policies, things just remain as it is. I fear when I hear that most of the politicians where these practices are being, practiced, they are afraid of talking about it because they are afraid of losing their votes. You get? So I'll just say, like, today's African, most of the African leaders, when I'll talk about the politicians, they are out there only fighting on how they can remain in power, or how they can get that power, and how they can perpetuate the same power to bring in nepotism and all that for the family. I see many of them have no interest when it comes to common wananchi, that is common public, common person, that voter. So I would say, yes, it's continuing and continuing. For example, in Kenya, the former president was able even to sign together with the communities that are in 22 hotspot counties. They signed the declaration that that is the elders have said no, because there was narrative being narrated that if you fight this without bringing men, then it is not good to end. But men were brought in. The elders were brought in. But it still continued. So they said, okay, we are going even to sign, and also the declaration that it's going to stop, because we are the male have the voices. They are the, Africa is about patriarchal type of community. But after that, I still see it. Only the strategy has changed. You get? So the songs, the dances have stopped. But they said the girl may be for a visit in Tanzania, if there's a Maasai, or Kajiado for a visit. And when they come back, they are already cut. You just see them in Dera and you'll not notice. And having had generational, we held during the day of zero tolerance on FGM. Our organization brought together different generation to have generational talk. And it was a candid one. And they said, yes, it's 95% back. So awareness is there. The willingness is not there. The policy is there. There's no, the government officers, or maybe they are not implementing the policy. Why? Because if you do not have that goodwill from politicians, you will just arrest and then you become a target of that community. If you talk about continuing about awareness, which we are not tired of, now it seems like they are telling us you better go back now, target the younger children below age of 6, because by 7 we have already cut them. So what do? You now deal with the survivors so that you empower the survivors and they join you in this fight. And because there's one thing about the SDGs, that's why I'm here. People talk about number 1 is poverty eradication. Goal number 1. Number 2 is about education, isn't it? Number 3 is about health and well-being. But number 4 and 5, they are enablers because it's education. If you do not have free, accessible, education.
Global Logistics Limited, your number 1 customs clearing and forwarding cargo consolidation warehouse company. We do air shipment, worldwide sea shipment, transportation, tax consultation. Global Logistics Limited is a competent company specializing in logistics clearing and forwarding services. We have the necessary skills and resources and partnerships to tackle sizable projects to our clients' satisfaction. We are located at Mganziraza Plaza near the entrance of Katwe, Kampala, Uganda. Call us on +256 779 634 328 or +256 701 784 648, or visit our website glovylogistics.com or write to johnglovy@gmail.com. Glovy Logistics Limited, your number 1 clearing and forwarding company.
Then we are not talking about anything here. We should not be having in this continent some children who have not even accessed the basic education. We should not. A lot of donors have poured a lot of resources on this. But have they come down to check what is really happening on the ground? So even the funders, I'm calling them for a call. Can you come down to those you are funding and find out really whether it is changing narrative or that? Is it really helping that child? Goal number 5 is about gender. Without gender equality, there will not be also equity. These are narratives that are cutting cross because of culture. So some culture do not appreciate some of there are a lot of stereotypes that says a woman cannot do this, a man can do this. But in Africa, if the leaders themselves are not convicted, we are doing nothing. Because I cannot go to parliament, they are the ones. They are legislating. They are oversighting. So I wonder what they are oversighting. If you have a full library of laws and policies that are not implemented, and if they are implemented, they are poorly implemented. And every day we talk about budgeting, but who is budgeting to address the child poverty? The child poverty in this Africa is too high. Who will go to talk about that child, for that child, empathizing with that child? We are the mouthpiece. If given a space like today, you are able to realize that there are some voices that are not being heard. Yet, in the Convention on the Rights of the Child participation is very important. I also expected to see a panel where I'll see a child talk. Yes, because it is given in the child participation that they need also to be consulted and also their voice to be count. So such forum, unless we come, these children under 18, let's talk about that, according to the convention, they are going through a lot of abuses perpetrated by the so-called caretakers and caregivers.
Sometimes even relatives.
Yes. These are the relatives. I'm talking about teachers in school. There are abuses. In churches, you have had those at home. There are a lot. We also have diseases that are caused by nutrition. Poor nutrition. Why? It is related to number one, poverty.
Poverty.
Yes. You see, I look at SDG and I always sympathize and say, oh my God, if the panelists can just see the relation and you cannot tackle number 7 when you have not tackled number 3, then you need to know among them which are the enablers. Okay? And finance the enablers so that they help you to address the others. But maybe we are missing there. That is what I'm trying to say. There are a lot of households that are headed by children in Africa.
Because they're orphans?
They are orphans because of diseases like HIV and AIDS. There are a lot of houses that are headed by children because their mothers or the single parenthood is there in Africa. Okay? They are in prison. There are a lot of children in prison right now accompanying their parents. How are they being socialized? To call that a police officer daddy, uncle, and to see that environment as normal? This is not what we talk about when we talk about United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, and we came with our own African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Children. We were talking about addressing this specific problem that really affect the African child. So to me, the laws are there. We do not need to even come up with the laws. The willingness and the budget allocation.
Budget allocation.
All the governments in Africa, they should think, why is it in Europe and America, education is free, health is free, while here you are overtaxing the citizens to meet the same, but they are not getting. You are overtaxing the poor people, leading to mental health issues, leading to street children, leading to early deaths. So that is what I would say about that.
When you talk about poverty, Africa has got plenty of resources, including land, and it has many countries are able, because they have favorable climate condition to allow them to produce food. And in Uganda, where I come from, the president has been preaching the gospel of utilizing the land with 1 acre, 4 acre model, one for planting food, one other one is for this, another one is for this, as part of income generation for families. Should we agree that we are not doing enough, especially to utilize these resources as part of fighting poverty, or the land is owned by few people?
I partially agree. There is land owned by people, a chunk of land owned by few families, the bourgeois.
It reminded me of the French Revolution.
Exactly. That is true. So you get those in leadership, they are owning junk of land, and they are underutilizing it. While you are having others living in urban centers, in the slums. So even if you talk about utilizing land, what land is there? The toilets are paper toilets. So if you look at the Convention of the Rights of the Child talking about clean and accessible water, do you have...
For more than 10 years, Kebbi International Group has been your #1 partner in tours and travel consultancy. We also do real estate, legal services, ICT services, and much more. Find us on cabinternationalgroup.com or write to us at info@cabinternationalgroup.com. You may also write to us at PO Box 35827 Kampala, Uganda, or visit us on Namaswahi off Entebbe Highway. Call us on +256 200937566 or +256 3948632 or 46, or you can send us plus on WhatsApp on +256 752 1375 66. Cab International Group, your number one real business partner.
In the slums, you do not have good sanitation. What is there? So I would say that is the one way, but also it needs somebody also to look into demarcation, land demarcation, and land ownership act, and come up with a way where you have equal distribution of land, so that we have every family has, even if it's a quarter, that they can call it, so that they're able to utilize it the way the presidents are saying, and be able to produce. We also have innovation through the youth entrepreneurship. You can also have some of them come up with the innovation and utilize that small land to grow crops that are climate friendly. For example, this is what one more day we are trying to bring. We are in arid area, so rains and droughts, there's a lot of drought and water is a problem. So we are trying to address the problem, because it also have the sexual reproductive health impact through hydroponic towers, gardening. This is a climate smart. It doesn't need any much. You just need the tower gardens, and then there are some water, and then you plant your seeds, all types, and only one bottle, little water coming through, and you have vegetables like that. So I would say yes, for anybody in a family to be self-reliant, it's always good also to look at agriculture and also other innovation. But also remember, they also need some capital to start this. They need expertise. Okay? They need also markets for their whatever. But when you have the middle people, middlemen coming in between the farmer and the buyer, then you see the farmer is just doing zero. It's getting retro. Yeah? And it will never lift that family up. Yes.
Wow. And when you try to bring in gender-based violence, but I wanted us to give a bigger picture to gender-based violence. What exactly do the technocrats mean by gender-based violence?
Do with one whatever. If you talk about gender alone, people think you are talking about women.
That's where most people are looking at, ignoring the boy child, ignoring the men. Yet we're also struggling and suffering.
Yeah, unfortunately that
and
is
we
so.
cry in silence.
Yeah, but gender is about social, cultural. It's about social reconstruction or construction. Gender is about the role, gender roles, the roles that are given for men. There are those roles for women. Okay, and that is where now, if you don't address it very clear, look at it very clearly, then you'll find that the boy is socialized to say you cannot cry. Okay, this is male work, this is woman work, and the girl, when growing up, will be given a baby doll. And the boy will be given a gun.
Yes.
So you're getting what it is. So it comes together with masculinity part of it. And unless we move to look at it like gender has nothing to do with you or me, that the job you're doing today I can do in technology. They are now truck drivers.
I've seen them.
That you can have chef. The best chef are men, isn't it?
Yeah.
So gender.
And Kenya is good at exporting good chefs.
Exactly. Exporting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Then the basic part of violence is where now you abuse your power, for example, to abuse maybe the opposite sex or opposite gender. It can be in offices, it can be in school, it can be anywhere at home. And mostly right now, what is happening, especially in my country, the biggest is FGM, child marriages, domestic violence is very hard. High. Every now and then you hear somebody was killed the wife, killed the children, domestic. Why? Because many people are going through a lot of mental health issues, and if not addressed, then they end up with that. So gender-based violence has a big component to do with the culture. For example, because why are you beating me as a wife? Because you think you are the head of that family, and therefore I should not talk back to you, and I should do whatever you say. There's no dialogue. There's no dialogue. If you mean there's no dialogue, then the fights come in, and the children are being socialized to that way. So when it comes to culture side, traditions, there are negative cultural practices that are perpetuating gender-based violence. And these are FGM, for example. There's child marriages. And remember, FGM are different. Some are very, very, very harmful. Some are, let's say, they are calling it like something to perpetuate whatever our grandparents are. But let me tell you, all in all, the mind, whatever you do to the body is registered in the mind, and the behavior changes immediately.
Okay.
So in Africa, we are suffering because of some negative cultural practices, because you go to different cultures, their teeth removing. Yeah, they remove teeth. There are others that they beat you, like I think it's for court, for you to get that girl, then you have to enter into fight. Very, very tough fight.
Of all the strength that your sweat goes, in every single moment that you wake up early in the morning, go to sleep, bed late, you want to have a beautiful home. Acquiring a beautiful home makes your dreams come true. We at Cape International Group are proud to extend our deepest and strength expertise and team to make your home beautiful. We do stone building and carving on all the nature of buildings that you would like to hold. Stones make a home so beautiful that you cannot underestimate the beauty of stones. From every perfect stone and every carve and every crafting, we do and we achieve this. At Cape International Group, we don't only do that, we also paint your homes. Every nature of paint that you would love to make your home beautiful is available at Cape International Group. A well-dedicated team is here to make it happen for you. Contact us today so we can make your home the most beautiful and secure of all at friendly prices. That is what we are promising you, with a lot of dedication and sincerity, honesty, and every category that you want to achieve. This is what we are talking about. Cape International Group, your number one partner to make a beautiful home for you, with great services of painting and stone. This is what we are. Call us today on +256 773 1375 66.
Goes along generation to generation and generation to generation. And this is what we need to address. The bottom line is about education. The other thing is poverty. Both of mind and of money. We need, these are enablers for us to remove people from these negative cultural practices. Yes, which are harming the families as well as the children in Africa.
Okay. As we prepare to finish, when you talk about education, we've seen children, especially in rural parts of Africa, walking miles and miles to go to school.
Yes.
an area has only one small school which is in bad situation, and those on the island, those in the mountains, how are we going to address that matter such that we have enough schools to educate our children?
Again, it's about political willingness, because I'll give the example of Kenya. There's a fund they call national government uh, community development fund, constituency development fund. This is where members of parliament are given quite a chunk of money to identify the places they can go, maybe in education, build schools, bring together, pay school fees, or other infrastructure development part of it. Like where I am right now, where one more day operates, honestly, you can move 10 kilometers and without seeing any school. And some, like you have said, they are under the tree at this level. And you want them to do and perform do the same exam with the national school, where you're having rich people, children going to. One exam. And if they fail, it's like their future is doomed. Are you getting me?
Yes.
So they lose hope at an early stage. So there's a lot to do with underfunding on the side of education. And this is a call to all the donors also. When you're talking about campaign on advocacy, please don't let people know about something that is bad and you don't give the alternative. That is my call.
Yes.
It's just like what happened with the USAID. My dear president of US,
Donald J. Trump.
Exactly. He must have had something, okay, whatever it is. Yeah. Maybe every country now you have to, don't depend on America or all that. If you are paying taxes and all that. And I remember our former president saying, so what? Why are you crying? This is not your tax.
Welcome to Princess Branding Services. Do you have a party, introduction, or you have lost a loved one and you intend to do burial or branding? At Princess Branding Services, they do branding for baby shower, political rallies, and all kinds of celebrations and functions. Contact us for great and friendly, affordable prices. We will brand your t-shirts, capes, bottles, umbrellas, photos, bags, frames, and much more. Contact us on the number on your screen. +256 783 20 95 79 or +256 744 580326. Email princessbranding256@gmail.com.
So education is an enabler. And if it is underfunded, then poverty will never be addressed. We need good laws. The laws that are going to address poverty must be also friendly in education part of it. Free education up to university. And after university, let them get either job or through innovation they get entrepreneur fund where the youth themselves can empower themselves with the job. They are able to create. And our country is coming up with a new model of education called competence-based education, where you don't look at marks, you look at the capability, you look at the skills what the child has, and then the child runs with it up to the top, whether it's a musician, journalist, or drawing, or that. Trying to bring them together so that you don't get only those who scored high marks are in a white-collar job and the rest are in poverty, so that we are able to embrace every skill and every talent. That's the only way to go. But it requires a budgetary allocation, and also equal opportunity to all. Yes.
When you mentioned about the USAID, there has been, of course, a lot of concern and mixed reactions as to whether this aid is still needed in Africa. Quoting a few examples where in some countries its funding is on issues that do not promote cultures and values of those countries. And to you in Kenya, uh, has there been an impact of USAID apart from creating jobs for people who are handling it?
Yeah, there's a big impact because they are the cheap medication for those who are sick, the families, so that you prolong the life of the caregiver of that family. We have seen a lot of them living with the virus comfortably, to be able not to stay with the children and to help the children grow to their full potential, instead of the children now being removed and taken to the homes, the orphanages like that. This has been very evident. Right now, with the way it is going, there's already mental health issues because most of them cannot even afford from the counter. Our health system itself, as the country, is not capable of producing all that. We do not have an alternative donor, then there will be a crisis. I foresee hue and cry from especially the poor families that are having patients to do with HIV and AIDS especially. When it comes to awareness creation and the same, and also most of the hospitals were also getting a lot of funding to do with the equipment and improvement of infrastructure of the same. They were also employing some health workers. Those health workers have since been, removed. So it is bringing about some panic as well as a health crisis at one moment or another, because if they just live without having another alternative or another donor coming in, I am very sure maybe the rich will be able to afford this medication, but the poor will not. Because even in Kenya, we are still struggling with the new health insurance fund that is the new government, the current government has introduced. And therefore, more deaths may be registered as a result. I'm afraid to say so. More infection will also be, because like HIV and AIDS is also being spread through the cats, this FGM and all that. Then there's also unprotected sex, and most of right now we are struggling with the high teenage pregnancies as a result of unprotected sex. This the USAID had a big hand in addressing all that, both the advocacy awareness as well as treatment and also infrastructure improvement. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to share on our show as we wind up?
I just want to make a call to all African leaders. Africa continent is beautiful, and God has endowed it with the beautiful sceneries and resources.
Glovi Logistics Limited, your number one customs clearing and forwarding cargo consolidation warehouse company. We do air shipment, worldwide sea shipment, transportation, tax consultation. Glovi Logistics Limited is a competent company specializing in logistics clearing and forwarding services. We have the necessary skills and resources and partnerships to tackle sizable projects to our clients' satisfaction. We are located at Mganzaraza Plaza near the entrance of Katwe, Kampala, Uganda. Call us on +256 779 634 328 or +256 701 784 648, or visit our website glovylogistics.com or write to johnglovy@gmail.com. Glovy Logistics Limited, your number one clearing and forwarding company.
If we can tap from these resources and we do away with corruption, nepotism, and other vices that are affecting the development, I'm very sure that Africa may turn around to be the one that really is also giving out some aid to other. We have USAID. I'm very sure we can have Africa aid, all the same. It's all about the leadership, good leadership. My call to them is also to focus on the people who elected, the families, and stop focusing on how to retain their seats or how to win elections. It is very, very important. And I'll echo that from the former President Jonathan, that mostly once they enter, most of the African leaders enter into power, they start now working on how to retain the seat, and others are also down there working on how to access to power. So then the common man is left out. It's like you have said, everybody for himself, God for us for now. And unfortunately, most of these our children are the ones who are suffering as a result of all this, because there's tribal clashes, there's political clashes. Gen Z, you can see we have now the pricing of Gen Z. I know it started with Kenya, but it has spread. You
Absolutely.
know, it is a group to reckon with. If you don't bring them to the table and reason out with them, we are seeing that serious problem ahead, where even the countries may now start now being ruled by the youngsters, young people. But do we want to really fight, to have generational fights? It's all about embracing each other, bringing the generation together, and working out together with them, for them, and by them. That is democracy.
It's been a pleasure to talk to you, Dr. Hellen Gathogo, Executive Director of One More Day for Children Foundation in Kenya. Which part of Kenya is that?
It's like when those who are coming as a tourist to Mount Kenya, we are just there. The town is called Nanyuki, Laikipia County. And if you would like to partner with us as an organization, we have our website as www.onemodayforchildren.org, and you're going to get all information on where. We encourage all the partners in the areas to do with GBV, child protection, as well as health, that is sexual reproductive health, agriculture, that is climate action project, to also come and also help us, so that we are able to empower the family to do this, and we are able to address together this problem to do with gender-based violence. We request for the donors, the international donors, as well as African main donors, to also embrace us and also help us with funding to perpetuate whatever programs we are having, and you will not regret. We are only your partners, but on the grassroots where the problem is. Trust us. Welcome.
One More Day for Children, Foundation.org. You can get in touch with them and partner or support, in fact, the work that they're doing. On camera today has been Anastasis Gordon Sekandi, as also the producer, as well as Faith, Barbara, and Ruhinda. My name is Chivumbi Ernest Benjamin for HICGI News Agency, and brought to you by Cape International Group, Heal the Planet Global Organization, Special Consultative Secret United Nations, Africa at Heart, Global Logistics. Until next time.
The Senior Citizens Talk is brought to you by Africa at Heart, Heal the Planet Global Organization, HICGI News Agency. Subscribe right now to get our latest updates sent every single Sunday. Don't forget also the Talk to the Wild show that is running every Thursday at 4 p.m. Subscribe here on YouTube and make your notification bell right here. HICGI News Agency. Visit us on HICGINewsagency.com and find us on all social media platforms, on X, call it Twitter, on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. HICGI News Agency. Subscribe now.